Hello everyone, it's Ranger64, and welcome back to another League of Legends lore reading video. Today, we will be reading the biography of Malzahar, the Prophet of the Void. A zealous seer dedicated to the unification of all life, Malzahar truly believes the newly emergent Void to be the path to Runeterra's salvation. In the desert wastelands of Shurima, he followed the voices that has whispered in his mind, all the way to the ancient city of Ikathia. Amidst the ruins of that land, he gazed into the dark heart of the void itself, and was gifted a new power and purpose. Malzahar now sees himself as a shepherd, empowered to bring others into the void, or to release the voidling creatures that dwell beneath the earth. Beneath the glare of the Shuriman sun, there have always been those blessed with the power of foresight. The only son, who is Malzahar, of aging trinket peddlers, did not realize his gift until his parents had already succumbed to a wasting sickness, leaving the young traumatized boy to fend for himself on the city streets of Amakra. He read fortunes in the gutter for a coin or scraps of bread. As his urgencies proved more and more accurate, his reputation grew. He used his second sight to predict who a curious Kaimler might marry, or where throwing daggers would land in games of chance at a bazaar. Soon, he began to receive patrons dressed not in dirtied sandals, but in jeweled slippers. However, for all of this, Malzahar could never see his own destiny. His future from himself was hidden. Increasingly delusioned with his success, he noted the common disparities of wealth and witnessed those unhappy with their lives acting out in spiteful violence against one another. It was apparent to him that people were bound up in a never-ending cycle of pain, often of their own making, and no hopeful prophecy seemed able to break it. Malzahar himself soon felt nothing but a sense of emptiness, finally relinquishing his mortal possessions and leaving Amakra for good. For years he roamed the land, from the trackless wastes of the Lesser Sai to the ruins of old Shurima. By distancing himself from others, he was alone with his thoughts at last. He divined not just how calculous people can be, but also how corrupt the world might yet become. Feverish visions became a plague in every waking hours for him, along with otherworldly whispers of war and strife and endless suffering. He wandered far until the sands turned to salt. He could not know that he had arrived in Ishta, a lost city ravaged in the wars of a bygone age. There, gazing into the depths of a raging abyss, Malzahar opened his unsteady mind, desperate for understanding. And it was there, in the city ruins of Ikathia, the void answered. That would have been the end of any other tale. And yet somehow Malzahar endured. What lay in the darkness below brushed against the soul of the broken seer, only for an instant, and yet its strange and unknowable energy saturated his mind completely. The lone figure that eventually strode out of Ikathia was no longer just a man, but something greater. Malzahar had seen the abyss, an end to all the suffering he had witnessed in his mortal lifetime. He realized the future he had believed hidden from him all this time was in fact a vision of his true calling to accelerate the world towards inevitable oblivion. He had to return to the people and spread the word of the holy nothingness that would gladly embrace them. The willing and non-believers alike. He would become the herald of the world's salvation. Amongst the nomads of the deep desert, he found his first disciples. Before their astonished eyes, he used his new void-given powers to rend the very earth itself, summoning chittering, nightmarish creatures to carry away any who dared to deny him. Within a matter of months, strange rumors began to travel with the merchant caravans, rumors of men and women gladly sacrificing themselves to unseen powers, and of powerful quakes opening up the bedrock of Shurima in new fault lines hundreds of miles long. In the years since, Malzahar's legend has spread even to the northern ports. As followers of the Prophet grow in number, nearby settlers are said to experience malefic visions grasping at their hearts, and fear gives rise to superstition. Even the hardy villagers of the far wastes now make offerings of livestock to appease the voidling creatures below. But little do they know, this only helps Malzahar in shepherding the coming end.